Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Monster Movie. We have the grand finale of the Heisei era today, Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Link comment will take you to the theater. Let's get this started. Godzilla dealing with the after effects of his battle with Space Godzilla is in the process of melting down. I think this is the first time they actually incorporated lighting into the Godzilla suit. It's not really much, it's just a little neon they put into the different parts of it. The back plates is CG. Very good with the smoke coming out of the costume. Because, of course, the government couldn't think of it on their own. Hello, Gorilla. Just gonna be lurking because I'm getting house presentable for Destiny tonight. Oh, good luck with that, Gorilla. When he says, "Will you come with G Center?" He means you're coming to G Center. I found that boy's weakness. Yeah, the Godzilla destroying type weapons. He obviously has never heard of the Middle East. And yes, the source of this is YouTube because even on the high seas, this is the only English version I can find. Look at those state of the art 1995 graphics. He's kind of right. It's going to be kind of hard to do since the elevator shaft is melting. Yep, that'll do it. Sounds fun. It'd be a hell of a bang when he goes up. No, you don't have to be evil to be a mad scientist. There are very altruistic mad scientists. Sure, the crazies usually are. Yeah, sure, that's what you want to do. Take the already unstable walking nuclear reactor and then put him under stress. And hello to Buddy and Sifstan in the Cosme. In all fairness, it's going to be one hell of a kaboom. Oh, there's a couple other ways. Oh, this is not going to be good for you. And guess who they're going to blame for that? And I think we can all guess what that grows up to be. He's just a little hungry. It's the worst case of crabs the city has ever seen. Yeah, that's going to be real effective. They missed a golden opportunity to have the monster jump them in the elevator. A lot more gruesome slaughter in this one. They usually didn't allow this for the Godzilla movies. Hey, Dan. Hey, they might as well listen. It's not like the bullets are helping. Now they're here to eat the reporters. Hiding in probably the worst possible place she could. Yeah, they did a Xenomorph ripoff. It seems fire is effective against them. The end of modern civilization, it'd be the end of even bacteria. It's a shame they brought back the X series for this one. It was never very popular. Yeah, it doesn't even look like an alien ship. At least the first Super X looked a bit fine saw through. Yeah, that's the stuff feed him acids. Yeah, it might work. Worst day at the beach they ever had. Junior is at puberty. Yep, so he's gonna explode. Yeah, much, much worse. Everything goes boom. Ice tanks. One of the better variants they have of the energy tank. Skip that. The creatures are pulling a Voltron. It's a shame those were nice tanks. It's not like you haven't done it before. Get them in relatively the same area and let nature take its course. And thankfully, this is the last we're going to hear of this ESP BS. Finally, a monster fight. Not much of a fight. Junior's getting his ass kicked. At least he finally learned how to do the atomic breath. Oof. Body slammed him. And they did a really good job on Destoroyah too, with all the smoke releases. Ouch. Man, you gave it a good shot, kid. Yeah, Destroyer has one last evolution in him. It's the first smart thing you said. Hey, Gavin. You're just in time for the climactic battle between Destoroyah and the Godzillas. They are launching Super X3 now. It still is a very ugly plane. That is probably the worst version of the Super X they've had in Heisei. This fight was a little bit harder to film sometimes because of to maintain scale. Junior there is a doll now. Apparently, it is a rather fragile doll. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. Gavin's Super X3 does kind of look like a Sony Walkman with wings. Poor Junior. He just couldn't cut it. Oh, I think he understands. It's a big ugly over there, and he's gonna put every last bit of his life into killing him. Yeah, it's gonna be his last fight, and he's gonna make it a hell of a show. Yeah, like a TV chopper's gonna go in there. Hey, Headcase, welcome. You're just in time to see Godzilla go out with a bang. Oof. He's coming apart at the seams. Yeah, he's back up. Yep, he's losing his atomic breath. Yeah, Gavin, the TV chopper is a real hero. Because God forbid the two hot Japanese ladies get killed. One last commercial. Yeah, he has a little laugh left in him. He was about to peacefully go up in a blaze of glory, and you have to shoot the guy in the back. Oh, Gavin, he doesn't even need to hold them. He can just stare in their general direction. He can get all of them well done. Exactly, Gavin. Just let him blow up the world in peace. Hey, one of the tanks survived. Yeah, we got a whole column of the freezer tanks. Can the freezer tanks actually be a hero? First time the tank would ever be anything but useless in Godzilla. Well, not exactly on to Godzilla. Here comes the kaboom.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Hey,
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's okay. You're just in time to see Godzilla meet his noble end.
Just start the movie over. When do we watch the Roland Emmerich one?
The day hell freezes over.
I, I honestly think that there's like a Godzilla discussion that we could put out there where that would be probably some of your funniest material. I'm getting a reminder that I'm a standard moderator for your channel. I guess it wants me to behave. Hi, Gav. It's Blackie. This new shit where the StreamYard stuff is stuck to the bottom is a nightmare. That was weird. I'm not going to sit here while this woman mocks nuclear energy.
Well, that was the entire point of the Heisei era.
By the way, I went to the barber today and I said, "Sir, I look far too much like Hitler. Can you fix that?" And he got rid of the Hitler undercut. It broke my heart getting rid of it.
That's okay. It'll grow back.
Now I just need to shave the sides off my mustache, right? They only think he's dead, like Michael Jackson and Harambe.
Oh no, he's dead. He melted down completely.
So what's this? This is like Godzilla heaven.
This is Junior.
We've seen this thing a few times. It's not particularly intimidating. At least it stopped talking and hanging out with humans.
He absorbed all the radiation. He's bigger. He's badder. And in about 5 years' time, he's going to be the star of the series.
Digging this song. Fan Lo Chi is a favorite of mine. Osama Hiroshi gave one of his better performances too. And Momo Kokishi. Saburo Shinoda kind of stole the show, though, if you ask me. What do you think, Germ?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that the very last person credited is the guy in the suit.
I missed with that name.
Wow, you know what? This does look a lot better than most of the other Godzilla stuff. I mean, this is a
Yeah, they
mashup of the
put
best they have.
for this movie they put in a good bit higher budget to give the Heisei a great ending. They weren't 100% sure if they were going to come back for the Millennium series at this point.
Tomomi Kobayashi stars as Godzilla Jr. Germ. Wow. Yeah, this is a much better Godzilla movie than they usually make, huh? He trashes a baseball
Yeah.
stadium.
These are the
Oh,
highlights from the Heisei movies.
oh, this is all the movie. That's why it's so consistently good.
Yeah.
I'll just ask, are you ready in just 31 days for Strange New Worlds?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be hell.
Destoroyah? That was the bad guy monster?
Yeah.
That's not the greatest name, is it?
No, that one wasn't too creative. At least he had a good
Angaris
look.
is like a better name. Hey, Headcase is in there, and so is Gorilla. Hello, and hello, buddy. Hi, everybody.
Gavin minus zero should be out in the end of November, beginning of December. That I believe it releases around the end of November in Japan, and the West should get it about 3 or 4 weeks later.
Question: are they going to continue the story of the people from the first movie? Or are we going to do a time jump? Like, what's the deal?
We are getting a bit of a time jump, and does have the same human cast.
So, what, the time jump is about the same time jump that we experienced waiting for movies? 3-year time jump?
That I'm not sure. They haven't really released a fixed date for it.
I would love to see him at least call that woman who treated him like shit a bitch, wouldn't you?
I don't really remember that part of minus one.
There was the neighbor. Remember, he shows up and the neighbor starts yelling at him, and she's pissed that he's alive, and she calls him a low life and like a coward. And
Oh
you
yeah,
don't
they solved
understand. I saw a monster on the island.
they solved that in the
They,
first
they,
movie.
they, they didn't hate each other at the end, but I would like to see her get her comeuppance for being such a bitch to him. Did he really need to self delete to help Japan win the war?
No, apparently not.
I mean, if he
He
had
had to live to
done
fight
his
a
mission,
monster.
yeah, if he had done his mission, the creature from Edo Island would have destroyed all of Japan. He was doing a much better job in that movie of destroying Japan than he usually does. Now, is this one? Are they going to inject a little more money into it? Or they slash the budget even more so that we can get a higher quality film.
It
All the
seems to
stars
be
took a pay
about
cut.
the same.
What do they do? Just like farm it out to Chinese, like enhanced labor camps?
Oh no, that's one thing you can pretty much guarantee with Japanese media or pretty much anything. They're not going to farm it out to China.
How can they be sure? A Chinese person could just approach them and buy it, and they would never know the difference.
Actually, if you ever seen a Chinese and Japanese interact,
Oh, they hate each other. I'm just saying they
yeah,
can't tell each other apart, and neither can I.
it's entertaining. It's entertaining.
Oh God, I
You
live for
think
it.
it's
You ever see him go? The Chinese and the Koreans go at it.
yeah, it's
Pretty fun.
gives a whole new outlook on race relations in the U.S. You go over
There are
there,
no
it's
two groups of people that have every group of people has hope except black people and Chinese people getting along. Korean people getting along. Like those two groups have individual hope for themselves. I'm not saying they're hopeless groups. I'm saying there will never be good relations between Koreans and black people. I'm sorry, it's just never going to happen. It's like this is like a 40-year-long trope in New York City. I don't know what it's like by you.
it's more the over here. It's more keeping certain people out.
I agree with that. I mean, let's keep all of them out. I think should probably have to be born here, right?
It's more like you have Chinese, you have Koreans, and they don't like each other.
No,
But then you
they
get
don't.
certain others like Indonesian and Middle Eastern, and they kind of forget about each other for a while.
Good point. Would the 40,000 most unpopular people in the world be the Islamic Japanese people in Tokyo?
That problem is in the middle of being solved by the Japanese government.
I don't think there's any real problem, right? They don't care, and they don't care what those people think. They're going to let them keep doing
Eh,
what they're doing. They can't build any more buildings and whatever. They have to bury their dead the same way Japanese people do. It's not any different. It's like you want to live here, you got to live like us.
hello, buddy. He said zero is 15 plus $1 million, where minus one was $10 million. So
They're just spoiling those actors. I mean, just open up the fire hose. $15 million. That's enough for like almost 11 minutes of Rings of Power.
yeah,
And
and it's
honestly,
gonna
that's
be
about right.
in 15 minutes of zero is gonna be about as equal quality as all of Rings of Power.
Rings of Power will never touch even 1 minute worth of what you're gonna get in Zero. I'm pretty sure of it. If it's anything like the last one, Rings of Power has never been any good. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. We went to a place where it was so evil that fire couldn't burn because it was so cold, and then they poured water on things. It's like, how's the water not frozen?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Rings of Power started out just doing contradictory things in the first like minute, and it never let. It just never let off, and like it is the worst show ever made. It's like, think about it. These are the people that Alex Kurtzman thought were messing up Star Trek Discovery too much.
And New Empire was $150 million. Just goes to prove that there's no real substituting that Toho quality.
Or back to whoever owns the Toho rights, and it's Toho people now, right?
Uh, minus zero and minus one are Toho.
Who is Chin
Godzilla X
Godzilla?
Kong. Shin Godzilla was Toho, but that was kind of an experimental thing.
What? Explain it to me a little.
Didn't really fall into any real era because it really went off of continuity with everything else. Is sort of in between the Millennium era and the New era.
Was he a different
So
design as well? Look a little different.
yeah, it goes through different stages of evolution. It's not really a good movie.
So it's sort of like Death of Superman for Godzilla.
Yeah, they're
Sounds like
trying to
shit.
get experimental, and it didn't really work out too well.
I guess the experimentation should be praised, but it was like kind of stupid.
No, but he's saying it's Rewa era.
That makes sense based on everything you told me. I kind of understand this stuff. I would say this though. Can you believe we finished Saturday's show in like what was it, 2.5 hours? Like two and
Yeah,
a
if
half
I
or
knew you're,
three?
I think it is 2.5, a little over 2.5. If I knew you're gonna finish that quickly, I would have tried to stick it out the extra 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours 41 minutes. We're gonna probably. What happened was the conversation was too good. There is no rush. I'm not Johnny Carson. Like it's not like we have to get out of here so that next week we have Johnny Depp coming down. Like we're gonna keep on doing Star Trek. So well, big deal. We kicked the cage 1 week. I mean, we. I realized when things were getting out of hand. Did you notice that I started keeping the questions to season 1 and 2?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll
did a
it'll
little bit
break
better
up
on that.
pretty well. Well, once I realized that there was no shot of getting it done in 3 hours or even 2.5, oh, sorry, or even 4, If we had decided to finish that, it would have been 4.5 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need
And
that kind of problem anymore.
buddy, I agree with you. Shin Godzilla is probably the worst Godzilla movie they've made.
People talk about it endlessly like it's this good and great idea.
I have no idea why they think that. Godzilla going through evolutionary stages was just stupid.
What was more fun, Godzilla evolving or Tom Paris evolving?
I know those are each quite horrible.
I'm going to go with Tom Paris. Although, I mean, Janeway evolving, I mean, she was one pretty hot lungfish, wasn't she?
I guess if you're into lungfish.
Oh, I can't wait till we get to that episode. I'm going to try to find when Quabi reviewed it and listen to what he said. Maybe we'll make some sound bites out of that. Should be some pretty good stuff there, huh?
Yeah. That'll be pretty interesting.
Well, based on our schedule, in 11 years when we get there.
Short 11 years.
There's how many years of televised Star Trek between 66 and 05? 3, 7, 7, 7, 24. So 27 seasons. There's 27 seasons.
You got
of Star
7,
Trek.
7, 7, 4, 3. 21,
So 7, 7,
2,
7,
2, 3,
and
2,
7,
4,
really.
5,
There's
6,
28.
7. 28
seasons
seasons worth.
How fucking crazy is it that Mariska Hargitay has been in the same role for as long as there's been, like, Star Trek? She's played Captain Benson for 28 seasons. It's crazy shit.
No, that's weird.
So many things had to fluke out for it to happen that way. The show was designed for a character that could move up. And then they got rid of the character no one liked. They had a little actress on there called Michelle Hurd, Germ. Perhaps you've heard of this woman from Star Trek Picard.
Unfortunately.
Is it surprising to you that the show wasn't working till they got rid of her? And then it became the most successful show in all of television history.
Oh, yeah, Buddy's right. 30 seasons. Because TAS is canon.
Okay. So Mariska Hargitay needs to go 2 more years. That's true, although those 30 seasons are like a total of like what, 18 to 25 episodes, tops?
I believe 11 and 5 for TAS.
Pretty close. Right? I said 18, so pretty close. There was a lot going on with those stories. They were fun. I think things got better for the Star Trek people in the middle of it, so they didn't have to worry about it anymore. Is what happened with that? Am I right?
So it was 17 for the first season, 5 for the second.
I think the reason the second season is 5 is because they start getting told start cranking up Star Trek Phase 2. I don't think it was like people weren't watching it or it wasn't doing well.
It was doing okay, but they wanted to move on.
The Star Trek people or the network?
The Star Trek people.
Yeah. That's. I think that like they were getting clearer signals from the network that like they were going to move them back to live TV.
I believe they had finally decided on the motion picture to get that off the ground.
Well, remember, the decision to make the story of the motion picture is made, and then what it's going to be changes over and over and over until they finally get it out. Like last week, they're putting there is an appearance by William Shatner on Midday Live in New York City where they said, your new movie debuts today, and he laughs and goes, "Yes, I certainly hope they finish it on time." Some show times are delayed because the prints were wet. Did you know that?
Yeah, they were cutting it kind of close there.
They announced a date that the movie was going to be released before they had told the people who were making the movie, guess what? It's not a miniseries. I think, quite honestly, what stopped the Star Trek cartoon was they're like, this Roots thing that we just saw, This is the path back for Star Trek. We want to do like a 2-week miniseries of Star Trek. People are going to love this stuff. The miniseries is where it's at.
Well, the motion picture came out in
December 7th, 1979.
79, so they had a little over 3 years.
Right, but remember, it's
And then the
production
TAS
hell the whole time. It's production hell the whole time. They start making phase 2, then they tell them forget it. Then they redesign that ship that looks like the Discovery. Then they tell them it looks like
phase
shit.
2.
Don't use it.
Phase 2 took a better part of the 70s.
Right, but that's what they're doing when they quit. And some of it goes into the motion picture. Thank God they purged stuff like Burn, Elvis looking Kirk with a different kid, and so we were so lucky not to get phase 2.
Yeah, it was popular with older kids and adults, where advertisers wanted it for younger kids. They finally were getting their shit together on the motion picture.
Or what would become it?
Yeah.
The only way to explain
it is
getting
their shit together, that's relative compared to what they had gone through the last 8 years.
This getting their shit together means this. People start getting paid nominal salaries. Gene starts getting a decent salary. They start building a TV series that gets changed to a mini series that gets changed back to a TV series that gets told at the last minute, chop this thing into a freaking movie.
Yeah. By the time,
and that's why it takes so long. It's phase 1 until they get the final word.
Yeah. By the time they let go of TAS, they were firm that they wanted it to be a movie.
Yes, you're right about that. And Gavin is correct about the phase 2 outfits. Yeah, well, I mean, Star Wars changes that. Phase 2 is going to be a miniseries. Then it was like they were considering movie of the week stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been the worst thing. A 2-hour Star Trek episode every month.
Yeah, that could have been good. I think it was maybe just 6 months or so before they actually released it in theaters that they decided that, yeah, we're going to put this in theaters instead of just throw it on like ABC.
Yeah, they sat them down and they were like, look, we're sorry. You know, we really went a bit too far in a few places with the production demands, but you have made a right disaster of this, and now it has to go into theaters because you've spent so much money. That's what I think actually happened, if I remember correctly. They're like, $40 million fucking dollars.
Yeah, it's
it bankrupted
kind of a bit high to just throw on a Sunday night.
Well, they bankrupted the studio for a minute, didn't they? Like another movie had to super work out. Didn't they rush out like a crowd pleaser to save the studio? Like it almost tanked Paramount. They're like, what the fuck did you do? That's why he wasn't allowed to make another movie, because that movie stays in theaters for 2 years and makes more money than, I think it made something absurd, like $400 million. But I mean, we're talking like a 2-year run. People are just going to see it over and over again. I mean, that movie, even if you didn't pay attention to the plot, if you like drugs, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and Buddy's right. What they were planning for Star Trek, at least for releases, ended up what Battlestar Galactica started out as before they jumped to the weekly series.
What do you mean? Like a TV movie that was then big enough to get a few added scenes and be a real movie, and then that was a self-defeating thing. We never know how that would have worked out if there hadn't been a press event in the middle of the premiere, right?
Oh, Battlestar did real great.
Battlestar Galactica's premiere movie got interrupted and had an hour cord out of the middle of it. No one understood what the fuck the show was about. That's why it tanks after a year.
No, they re-released it.
The movie was in theaters while the show was on TV, and it was a tough. Lift.
It got released in theaters as a special run, but it was on, I forget if it was CBS or ABC.
That was, I believe, was an ABC show.
Yeah, they showed it like 4 or 5 times.
They broke it up into episodes and reshowed it as the show as well.
Yeah, but that was quite a bit after when it first premiered. Yeah, it got interrupted for I believe what was it?
Peace,
Or Ant-Man.
a very unimportant thing. Just peace treaty between the Israelis and the Egyptians that's still holding up 48 years later, 49 years later.
Yeah, but
Jimmy
they
Carter has the
rebroadcast
only. Did they?
they rebroadcast it several times over the summer that year.
Between you and me, what the hell were they ever going to do? Were they ever going to be able to solve their problem at the end of that season where we've got Count Ibley and maybe he's the devil and what the hell is going on? We're going to kill and unkill Baltar. That show is just bad shit with the continuity.
Yeah, the Battlestar 1980 really didn't work out too great. But
that might
it
have
was
been
a
one of the
fun
worst
fun
TV shows.
It was all pretty fun. It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but it was pretty fun.
Was it Battlestar Galactica 1980 or Buck Rogers where their new leader was like a 10-year-old kid in season 2?
Oh. I don't remember Buck Rogers too well.
Buck Rogers was really, really weird. Like they might have made it for 3 seasons. They might have made it to season 3. Season 1, and if there's a season 2, they're like running around on Earth. They've got their starfighters. They've got this post-apocalyptic Earth, and the stories take place there. It kind of is working, but not really. So then season 3, they give them a starship, and they go out and it's just Star Trek, but it fails to work even more. And I think they replace like the leader of their society was like this old dude who walked around with like a clock around his neck, like Flava Flav. Like the clock was a computer, and that did like him and the guy, like the AI and the dude, kind of made the decisions together. And then season 2, they had like some kind of weird genius kid who looked a lot like Cousin Oliver.
Oh wow!
It was so weird. It was so weird. That was one weird show. So was Battlestar Galactica 1980. It was so weird.
Yeah, Battlestar 1980 was not really well thought out.
The writer had moved on to try to write
Dr. Z
Magnum.
was in 1980.
Okay, thank you very much. Isn't it like, if I remember this correctly, the writer moves on to write Magnum? He didn't care anymore. He just gave it to like the second unit writers. Not that Battlestar Galactica 1 was a consistent writing tour de force. We had a couple of times there where you just had to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was thus not to pay attention to what was going on. But still, compared to that remake, 1980 is gold compared to Battlestar Reimagined. I hate that damn series.
You need to really can you unpack for me what they did wrong to make you so angry?
It's just overly dramatic, especially with the Cylons. It's like
you're talking about all the time they bought
talking with. Yeah, it's just episodes of just dialogue and dialogues.
They did kick the can on major events too much. They really did kick the can on major. It might have had to do with the way they were forced to release the show. They never had a real TV contract. They would get it 10 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
Though I often say this,
human
that
Cylons were all melodramatic.
Yeah, but I mean, one of them was Lucy Lawless.
Still.
She was hot, though.
She was like all the hottest of the human Cylons.
She wasn't the hottest human Cylon, but she was pretty hot.
She was like middle-aged at that point.
Yeah, she still had a great figure, though. I mean, the hottest one was Trisha Helfer, obviously. And we could, you know what? You want to dial her up on OnlyFans now and tell her exactly why she's a bad actress? She'll take it from you. Just have to pay.
Yeah, give her $40 and you can say whatever you want to her.
I'll give you $40 and be like, show me your rack while I tell you why you sucked on that show. That would be hilarious.
It's your $40.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think's a better idea? $40 to OnlyFans to have her make the beginning for the next Star Trek show, or should we spend the 100 on another Linda Park one? It
I'll
almost
let
makes
you
sense
decide
to
on
have
that.
Trisha Helfer do it, doesn't it?
It makes better sense than getting any of those new Trek losers.
Well, I don't know if someone's going to make a video about what I broke 2 weeks ago, but everybody here already knows that they tried to tell the new Trek people to calm down for season 2 and not to have a destructive press tour. And to try to get this through to them, present in some manner were both Patrick Stewart and William Shatner, as well as Robert Picardo, there as sort of a interpreter. And the moment they tried to explain, and then imagine this corporate meeting, like maybe Shatner's telepresent, but imagine this corporate meeting. Those shows are all pretty good. Imagine those corporate meetings. That corporate meeting, you got coffee, pastries. Would you like a sandwich, sir? Sir, would you like some more? Would you like a Coke, sir? And they're like, maybe he's on the screen, maybe he's in the room. Montreal isn't so far away that you wouldn't fly him down if you think that they're destroying Star Trek, if you think it's going to make a difference. And the story is that as soon as they broached the subject of calming down and not treating the fans like shit, Sam the hologram went fucking crazy and called William Shatner a fucking old white bigot and told him to shut the fuck up. At which point the meeting was ended. Patrick
I think
apparently
Shatner in would be kind of like the hologram.
They thought that they would make them respect. They thought that they would breed some respect. Allegedly, what happened was they let the meeting go while the Starfleet Academy cast yelled at Picardo and Stewart. They were calling them like bigots and part of the problem, and like the Paramount people were kind of letting them take their lumps. I think the Ellisons see them as part of the problem. And then apparently what happened was that bitch started yelling at Shatner, and they were like, all right, we've had enough of this. And then she was like fucking fired from Paramount forever for flexing her salary. And they were just like, that is such an unprofessional move. And she's like, go fuck yourself. I make 50% as much as Mariska Hargitay. And they're like, all right, get the fuck out.
I don't think that's the fuck she thinks it is.
What's that?
Saying that you make half as much money means you're just half as important.
To be half as important as the star of their biggest show, though, think about that. It's year one. It took 30 years for Mariska Hargitay to get the money she's getting as Captain Benson. So we're talking like 15 years into Law and Order, she was making this kind of money, and they gave it to this chick right away with no acting experience. And her only background experience is dancer for Kanye. I think maybe she went to the Kanye charm school. Doesn't it sound like more like what we always say? There seems like there's kickbacks going on in Kurtzman world. It's like, you're going to have $300,000. You got to give 50 of it back to me.
Certainly sounds something like that. That Buddy enjoys watching all of the Larson shows like Galactica, Buck Rogers, Quincy, I think he meant MD, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, Fall Guy, very underrated show.
Fall Guy's underrated.
Magnum and Automan is a great show. Not a lot of people remember Automan.
Quincy was the best show of all of those. Quincy was the best show of all those, and the one with the most lasting legacy. Because think about it. Now all cop shows have a forensic investigation side. It was actually the most ahead of its time show. And how do you not love the Clugger? Did I tell you
Oh,
about the time I
your dad has
met
them all
Jack
on
Klugman?
physical media. That's good. Get as many of those on DVD as you can.
Did I tell you about the time I met Jack Klugman?
No, you didn't.
I'm a little kid, child, grammar school age. So, of course, at that point, your favorite show is The Odd Couple anyway, 'cause it's on every day, right? I mean, this is the 70s in New York, right? So, he owned a racehorse, bunch of them, and there was a racetrack in the part of Queens that I grew up in, and I walked into the deli to get like my lunch, for going to school, and my God, right there in front of me, I'll take the turkey club. It was Jack Klugman. And I was like, oh my God, Oscar. And he was really nice to me.
Yeah, I always hear he was a nice guy.
He was super nice to me. He was super nice. He was also smoking away, which explains why he had the throat problems, but he was super nice.
Yeah. Street Hawk and Airwolf. I don't really recall Street Hawk too well, but Airwolf, you can never forget the intro to
Is
Airwolf.
Street Hawk Burt Reynolds? Is that the one that's that old? Because I can imagine that being within his career. Sure, there's a show called Rawhide. The stars were Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood, and like the show was going through like a low ratings period, and they decided the problem was Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds. There were some other stars in the show, you know what I mean, like ensemble cast. So they decided the problem was Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds. Think of how misguided that is, right? First of all, on the charisma level, they dragged them into like a back room to fire them. And this is the story that Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood both told at different times. They said to him, they pointed the finger at both of them. And first they go to Burt Reynolds, you can't act. And then they pointed to Clint Eastwood and said, and your neck is too skinny. You're fucking fired. And they walked out of the room, and these two guys are sitting there. You know, it just happened, washed over them, and Burt Reynolds had the greatest line ever. I defy you to tell me this isn't hilarious. You ready? He looks over at Clint Eastwood, and Clint's looking at him like they both just lost their job. You know, neither of them are happy. They're not devastated because they know that maybe they're going somewhere, but the insults were you can't act and your neck is too skinny. Fucking great line, Burt Reynolds. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna take some acting lessons. I think you're fucked.
Well, they never really hired Burt Reynolds for his acting.
But it did improve. He was better as a
comedic
actor.
Improved.
He was he was never supposed to. He plays a tough guy a bunch of times. He's not horrible. The thing is, like, comedy was his real thing. He did so much comedy that Clint Eastwood was tired of him being a cowboy and made those two Bronco Billy movies to prove that he could be funny too.
Yeah, well, this Burt, he just needed to learn that all he had to do was smile and wink, and he'll make $1 million.
He actually was. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to defend him as a great actor, but I will say, like, choosing scripts, putting together projects, working as his own producer or executive producer, whatever he did with his agent. He stayed employed for a guy who had a noticeable hairpiece and was a bad actor.
Well, that's what charm buys you.
Is that the story of why Don Johnson just drops off the face of the earth? He was simply charming. Or is Don Johnson a good actor? And I'm torn on that one.
Don's okay, but he doesn't really have that last for 5 decades just on your charm type personality.
No, he doesn't. Let me ask you this. Is he also the poor man's Kurt Russell, and that's kind of rubbed off?
Yeah, that seems about right. Every which way, any which way you can are awesome.
Those are the two. Yeah, Bronco Billy's its own movie. That's a different character. Sorry, follow Beto in those two movies. They are great movies. It's the same. What's crazy is it's the same cast as Outlaw Josie Wales.
They had a lot more range back in the day.
That old lady who played the grandma was like Ruth Gordon, was a good actress. She had an Academy Award for Harold and Maude. He knew his talent. That crazy old dude who played the Indian in all his movies, that older, like 70-year-old Indian dude, that guy was crazy or whatever, but he could really act, man. All the Clint Eastwood people from those first couple of movies were really good. Except, let's be honest, Sandra Locke could have been played. Anyone could have played that role. We could have put Goldie Hawn in the role. It could have been anyone playing Sandra Locke's role.
Probably, but
we
really got to get going.
All right, we're out of here.
What you got coming up, Teague?
Let's see. Tomorrow, you and I are going to talk about the last episode of Yellowstone on my show. Right? No? Checking your appointment book? I hopefully will be on tomorrow evening with Germ to talk about Yellowstone. I held off on this week's episode. I haven't watched it yet. I'm ready to watch it. I don't know why I can't hear you. Did you mute yourself? I don't even see the mute icon. Something's going on over there. Let's see if Germ is able to return. We love you all. I can't end the show. I don't know. Am I supposed to tap dance? Okay, Germ is going to try to either zap this or come back and end it. So ask me any question you want. I also will guess your age and weight. Let's talk about this for a minute. Germ got locked out by StreamYards. This is becoming an ongoing problem. They're going to raise their price again. $500 for this. $500 to go through this. I mean, okay, this is the demo version. It doesn't work any less well when you pay for any better when you pay for it. We saw this happen to my show last week with the "oh sir" thing happen. And I guess what I should do is check X and see if Germ is going to be able to return or the show will just end. It should be interesting. I don't know. Is there anyone out there? Let's take a look at the chat. Dang, is it that much? It's if you buy it by the month, it'll hit 500. If you buy it by the year, you got to like scrape up like 370 and tax. They give you a couple of months for free if you buy it for the year. So yeah, like for most YouTubers, like because they changed the price and unified all their pricing in December, high risk month for them. It's the Teague Show. That's right. Everyone wanted it. You know it. You love it. It's your buddy, Admiral Teague. Look, I said I went to the doctor. I went to the hair doctor today, and I said to him, "Sir, I look like a 20th century German politician. Sir or madam, please help me out with this crazy undercut." And as you can see, you know, like, little more stylish now. I kind of like it. I feel lost without my soundboard. Hold on. Maybe I could just do it myself. Let's see. Sir, that was very controversial. Oh, sir. Sir, please don't talk about the light bulb. I'm just holding down the fort. I'm watching X. I don't know if Germ's computer died. This is an interesting situation. What can I do? See, right now, in my mind, Germ is probably struggling to return to this show, but I don't know. I just don't know. It wasn't his mic, or he would have at least hit end show. He didn't leave me a private chat, so I don't know. We just saw it here, guys, live, derezzed by YouTube. I might as well hang out for a minute. He's typing on X. Let's see. What happened? Computer die. Now, I'm going to assume he's typing to be on his phone. Breaking news. Wi-Fi gave out. Okay. Let me ask him. How do we end this thing? How do we end this thing? We'll have some more information shortly, sirs and madams. I guess I have OCD because, like, I guess most people would like leave, but I feel like I have like this obligation to entertain. I'll be on tomorrow with Lance Nielsen with the Nielsen ratings. He is the director of Mahler's movie. That should be fun. I always like doing that. He's giving me an assignment. I got to watch the movie Channels before 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And then, we got the Tuesday show, Tuesday night with Germ, who will be, there with me, I guess. His router overheated, sirs and madams. His router done overheated. So I blame the Wi-Fi company for this. I also think possibly, Germ is trying to come back. So hang out. We'll make it worth your while. You know what? We could use these hours as we move towards monetizing Germ. I don't think there are too many people out there more worthy of a YouTube career and some monetization than my pal Germ. He doesn't want to, share a lot of his personal life. You got to admire that. Let's just say he faces enough challenges that monetize YouTube and making a few coins so that he can bring us what he does for at cost, and maybe get himself, a protein bar once in a while. Wouldn't be the worst thing. So make sure you hit that like if you've been here. And this week we're going with part 2 of Enterprise retrospective. There was no way. You could tell at about hour 1 when we really couldn't get the show synopsis done in time that we were going to have to go to a part 2 on that one, which was the right thing to do. Going 5 hours the way we used to do things, the last hour, it's like summiting Everest. There's just not enough oxygen, and it takes you 10 times as long to cover the ground. And you're walking past the bodies of the other reviewers who didn't make it in their period garb. They're wearing Star Trek uniforms for the different era. It's like first you pass a few people in TOS uniforms, and there's the people in the Deep Space Nine outfits that didn't make it to the top, and there's a whole bunch of people from the freaking Star Trek Discovery, right? And so get more and more effort as you hit that. You've got to be Doomcock. You've got to be prepared for it. You've got to have talent. You've got to have a never-ending well of energy. I don't particularly have anything against the 5-hour shows, but when I go back and listen to when we've done them, that last hour, I'm verbally misfiring a little more. It becomes very hard to edit the show if I try to put an edit together. We had a great conversation on the Saturday show that I was editing and sound editing, and I was looking to put together for a video upload this week that I thought was pretty good, talking about Enterprise. But when I realized about hour 1 of the show that we were pretty stuck, if you noticed, I kept the questions to seasons 1 and 2, and that kept it so that we have seasons 3, 3 and 4 to examine, and that should be interesting, right? Because seasons 1 and 2, we've got a different kind of plot going on. Seasons 1 and 2, we have conventional Star Trek, more or less. Seasons 3 and 4, 2 wildly different experiments. Krimlon. I would say come here and join me, but I can't. If I gave you a pass, which I could, I wouldn't be able to let you in. Germ's Wi-Fi died, and this. So it's the Teague show. Is there anything? Would you guys like to know anything? FIFA World Cup predictions. I watched Belgium versus Iran. It was 0-0. There were no hard fouls, so I lost a lot of respect for Belgium. Fuck it. Still trying to get back on. Germ, I can sit here with the straw hat and the striped coat for as long as it takes you to get in there. Just jump on your phone, and just come in here and activate the auto destruct. I don't have my soundboard. Oh, sir, that is so controversial, sir. Oh, sir, we go to the moon to get to Mars, and that is what we're doing with the moon. Sir, my name is Raisin. Okay, so there we go. We have the soundboard from Admiral Teague's show making an appearance via imitation. What else have we got? He had a mechanical arm. I came home and there was a man in my house. You find this man. You find this man. I will go to my grave. The wrath of Germ. Yeah. I've left you on stream on a dead channel. I will leave you as you leave me, streaming forever. Streaming forever. I never forget a face. Hey, look who's back. Hey, buddy.